This example we were discussing change of steam to water. How this change occurs? This change occurs when a particular gas it is cooled and it changes to the liquid. How this change occurs explained simply by kinetic theory. That gas molecules they are in a state of random motion. So as the temperature is lowered, their movement also decreases, or we can say kinetic energy decreases. When kinetic energy decreases, what will happen? The molecular motion that also decreases, and if molecules are moving at a less rate now, naturally that state attained is the liquid state, nothing else. This is common. You might have seen, like suppose when we cook any particular dish, any meal on frying pan or using a pressure cooker. So when the gas burner is turned off and the pressure cooker is kept as such, the pressure is allowed to release, and when all the particular pressure has been escaped or released from the pressure cooker, what happens? You might have seen when you remove the lid. So on the inner surface of the lid there is particular water droplets. Water droplets are present on the inner side of the lid of any particular utensil. You can daily observe, like when boiling of milk occurs, तो वहाँ पे भी आप you can see these water droplets on the inside of the lid. When you turn off the gas, keep that container or jar or pressure cooker or frying pan for some time. After some time, when you remove that lid, you might have seen water drops falling from that. Now how that change occurs? It only occurred due to decrease in the temperature. When temperature decreases, molecular motion also decreases of the earlier, which were escaping earlier as the steam. Now when the molecular motion decreases, it changes to the liquid state. So this is all about this one, the change of different states from one to another based on the kinetic theory. So you must listen the video, go through the video very carefully. What I am writing here or going to write here, you must observe it very carefully and just relate that topic in your mind. Then only you are going to understand. Otherwise, it's of no use. Okay. Now, last topic of this chapter, it is law of conservation of mass. Sometimes it is also known as law of conservation of matter. Conservation law, some different terms. Law, principle, not the school principle, but a simple standard guideline which has been set up by someone. So conservation means to conserve, to keep that thing intact, or to keep that thing safeguarded, safe. So according to this law, whenever any change of state occurs, either that change is chemical change or that change is physical, the new product formed always has the mass equal to that of the reactant. But condition is there that some mass may escape outside in the surrounding, some escapes out in the form of heat, some escapes out in the form of gas. But if we check out the total mass, that will remain the same. So according to this law, we can say, or this law states that mass can, or matter can neither be created nor it can be destroyed. It means we cannot create anything of our own, neither we can destroy that thing. Either it is a gas or either it is liquid or any other state. We cannot destroy or create anything. What we can do, we can only change one form to another form. This we can do, but creation or destruction, that we cannot do. Like suppose, very simple process you might have seen, burning of candle. Burning of candle, have you seen? So what happens when a candle burns? Earlier we are having a long candle, full length. When it is ignited, slowly it decreases in size, and ultimately it is over. Now you can say here that earlier we were having big, long candle or large candle or full sized, full length candle. Now with the time the candle has destroyed, or it has been consumed. But if we check out, from the chemical point of view, what is involved in the candle? One flame is there, and second one is wax, and here it is wick. Now burning always takes place in the presence of oxygen, O2. Burning always takes place in the presence of oxygen. Now as the candle burns, it produces heat along with light. Also it produces smoke and other gases. Now if all these gases, smoke, heat and light, all these are collected, that will equal to the mass of the oxygen used from the atmosphere and the mass of the wax plus mass of the wick. That will always be equal. So we can say that here only change has occurred, but there is no complete destruction. The wax has changed into smoke and other gases along with heat and light, but the form has changed. But overall we can say the elemental form, that has not been changed or that has not been destroyed, that remains conserved. So this is only the law of conservation of matter. In your book, activity and experiment is given, that you must read it thoroughly and then you can understand it in a better way. In your book, one experiment is given at the end. You can see there it is given that if we mix two particular solutions, I think one it is given silver nitrate, another one is given barium chloride. So when these two are mixed and there is formation of new substances, So if we calculate the mass of these two and mass of these two, these are known as products, these are known as reactants. So before the experiment and after the experiment, their mass is always equal. There is no decrease in the mass from this side or from that particular side. Always the mass remains same. So this is the general basis for conservation of matter or conservation of mass, that before the reaction and after the reaction, mass of the reactant and that of the product, it is always equal. It is neither destroyed or nor we can create any new substance of our own. What we can do, we can only change the form. Like here, silver nitrate, it is the formula I am writing here. In your book it is given completely, only names are given. AgNO3, it is silver nitrate, and BaCl2, it is barium chloride. This one is barium nitrate and this one is silver chloride. So only we had changed, or after the reaction the chemical formulas have been changed, chemical composition is changed, but there is no either any addition of new substance nor there is destruction of new substance. So this is the end of this particular topic. Okay, thank you.